Welcome to the When It Works podcast. You're with the host, Julian Leahy. Today I'm joined by the fantastic Shola Abijade and Pete Premenko. How did I go, Shola? I messed it up, didn't I? Never mind. We're going to play Jeoparty, and then afterwards we're going to meet our fantastic guests. So let's get the Jeopardy board up, first of all, and then we're going to play. And it's not exactly like normal Jeopardy. We're just going to do one round, and you don't lose points if you get it wrong. Now, the categories are Great Thinkers, Hotels, the Netherlands, American History, Animals, and China. Shola, you can kick things off. What category would you like? Uh-oh. Have we lost Shola?
All done.
Hold on. All right, let's start with Pete. What category would you like?
Let's start with animals for 400.
Animals for 400. Name for both Chinese gooseberry and people of New Zealand comes from this bird.
What is the kiwi?
Kiwi is correct. Well done, Pete Premenko. What would you like?
Right on. Let's do animals for 600.
Animals for 600. The only two venomous species of lizards, Gila monsters and bearded lizard, are native to this continent. And it's not Australia. The only two venomous species of lizard, Gila monsters and bearded lizard, I think it's meant to be, are native to this continent.
What is North America?
Let's take a look. North America's correct. Well done, Pete. I did not know
Wow.
that you had venomous lizards. Everyone always says Australia's got all the scary animals. What would you like, Pete?
I'm going to switch it up. Let's do hotels for 400.
Hotels for 400. In 1977, the Eagles checked into the #1 spot on the charts with this song.
What is Hotel California?
Hotel California is correct. Well done, Pete Premenko. Doing very well.
Okay, let's go out. I'm going to really stretch it out. Let's do China for 800.
China for 800. Jiang Qing's occupation before she married Mao Zedong. Or Mao Zedong, depending on how you say it.
What is seamstress?
Oh, interesting. Any idea, Shola? It is actress.
Oh,
You got a tress. The tress was correct. You're still in control, Pete.
oh wow. Let's keep going with China for 600.
China for 600. Deng Xiaoping tried to unsuccessfully persuade him to return to Tibet.
I have no idea.
It's got to be that cute little man with the glasses, isn't it?
What is Buddha? I don't know.
Let's take a look. Shola, if you get this right, you can take control. Any idea? Dalai Lama is the correct answer. That was the cute little man with the glasses. You're still in control, Pete. What would you like?
Animals for 200.
Animals for 200. Even in the wild, this largest of apes takes a midday nap.
What is an orangutan?
Orangutan. Any idea, Shola? This is your chance. I can hear you. We're actually playing. Just play along. The answer is gorilla. All right, next question. Pete, you're still in control. What would you like?
Netherlands for 200.
Netherlands for 200. Today, very few Hollanders can be found clomping around in these klompen.
What are clogs?
Clogs. Yeah, wooden shoes. Clogs is correct. Well done.
Okay.
They still wear them, apparently. That would be a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Pete, what would you like?
Great thinkers for 200.
Great thinkers for 200 in Thus Spake Zarathustra. Ooh. In Thus Spake Zarathustra, this 19th century German declared God is dead. It'll be one of those German philosophers. Oh, I think I know this one.
I don't.
And he had this idea about the Superman.
I'm stuck.
Shola, any idea? The answer is Nietzsche.
Oh, wow.
All right, Pete, you're still in control. What would you like?
I'm going to stay with great thinkers for 400.
Great thinkers for 400. While prisoner of the Germans in World War II, this French existentialist wrote some of his greatest work. Man, this is a bit harder for me.
I thought this was going to be an easier category. I'm stuck on this one, too. I don't know.
These are like philosophers and stuff.
Yeah.
Prisoner in the German World War II, French existentialist. Let's have a look.
Don't know.
Jean-Paul Sartre. No, I don't know who that is. Never heard of him.
Okay.
Keep going. Pete Premenko.
All right, I got to switch back to hotels for 200.
Hotels for 200. National chain of hotels often referred to as Hojos.
What is Howard Johnson's?
Howard Johnson. What is Howard Johnson, Pete? What is it?
What is Howard Johnson?
Yeah. Is it burgers or what? Coffee?
Oh no, it's a hotel chain that doesn't exist anymore.
Ah, okay, right. Yeah, these are old questions.
Yeah, they
from
went out
the
of
80s.
business a long time ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Pete, what would you like?
Let's stay with hotels for 600.
Hotels for 600. California's famous Ahwahnee Hotel is in the heart of this national park.
What is Yellowstone?
It's got to be. That was the only one I know. Only because that's the only national park I know. Yosemite. How do you say it? Yosemite. Yosemite. Like
I switched them up.
Yosemite Sam. All right.
Yeah.
Still in control, Pete. You jump in, Shola, if you know
hotels
the
for
answer.
800.
What was it? Hotels 800.
Yes, sir.
This payment plan includes both lodging and meals.
What is all inclusive?
All inclusive. Let's take a look. The American plan. What's that supposed to mean?
Oh.
Americans are greedy? Is that what
yeah.
they're saying? It's a bit rude. All right, Pete, you're still in control.
Hotels for 1,000.
Hotels for 1,000. In 1954, Conrad Hilton wrote checks for $97 million to purchase this entire hotel chain. So did he? Well, it mustn't have been called the Hiltons before he bought it. What was it?
Yeah.
What did he buy?
Actually, I don't know.
Who knows? Let's take a look. The Statlers? I think I've heard of that.
Wow.
All right, what would you like, Pete?
Netherlands for 400.
Netherlands for 400. Before the euro, what was the Netherlands dollar known as? Jump in, Shola, if you know this one. Before the euro, has anyone been to Holland? Back in the day, I remember trying to buy something at the gas station, and they said, "No, you can't use that here. You need to have guilders."
Guilders.
Is correct, Julian. Still in control, Pete. What would you like?
Let's go back to great thinkers for 600.
Okay, this is a scary category. Greek philosopher whose works were the basis for most scientific study well into the 17th century. All right, you Greeks. What do you got? Oh, I think I know this one.
What is Socrates?
I was wrong, but this is right. I'm sure of it. Oh, it is Aristotle. So I was going to say Aristotle, and then you said Socrates, and I remember there's something called the Socrates method. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
That's why I thought you were correct, but you weren't.
Oh.
Never mind. All right, Pete, what would you like?
A Great Thinkers for 800. This one's fun.
Great
I'm learning.
Thinkers for 800. French soldier and mathematician whose motto was, I think, therefore I am.
It's right there.
It's right there.
Oh, man, it's right
Don't
there.
put the horse before the cart.
No.
Or carts.
Descartes.
Let's take a look. Is correct. Well done. I gave you a bit of a nudge there.
That was a nice nudge. Thank you.
Yes. All right. What would you like?
Great Thinkers for 1,000.
Great Thinkers for 1,000. This 17th century Dutch Jew was excommunicated from his synagogue for his independent thinking. A naughty Dutch Jew that was excommunicated and probably formed his own religion, I would imagine.
Sounds like a troublemaker, but
Yeah.
I'm stumped.
Oh, I think he sounds pretty good. It might be that religion that starts with an L. I'm going to mute Shola. Got two connections. All right. I think it's actually what's his name with an L, Luther. I was wrong. Spinoza.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All right. What would you like, Pete? Still in control?
Let's go back to animals for 800.
Animals for 800. Cat-like animal raised for the secretions it produces, which are used to make perfumes. Any idea, Shola? You can jump in. Cat-like animal. It's not a cat,
Help me out.
but it's cat-like. So what the heck is a cat-like animal? Let's take a look.
I'm thinking of...
It's a civet.
I was going to say civet, but I thought that's the one that ate the coffee beans.
Ah, you're right. Yes, and then people wait for the coffee to come out the next day and then make coffee with it. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Something I don't think
It
I
is.
can do. I've made some coffee that probably tastes like that, but by accident. Pete, what would you like?
Animals for 1,000.
Animals for 1,000. According to New York's Bronx Zoo, it's the most dangerous animal in the world.
Most dangerous animal in the world what is an eel?
Is this a serious answer, Pete? All right, Shola, you can jump in here if you know what the most dangerous animal in the world is. This could be your big opportunity. What have you got? It is man.
Man.
They're trying to be
Duh.
clever there. Well, they are, I suppose. I was going to say saltwater crocodile. All right, Pete, you're still in control. What would you like?
Not going back to the Netherlands yet. Let's do American history for 200. We haven't been there
American history for 200. This 1803 acquisition doubled the size of the United States.
yet. What is the Louisiana Purchase?
The Louisiana. I was going to say Texas just because it's big. Let's take a look. Louisiana's correct. Well done, Pete Premenko. What would you like?
American history for 400.
American history for 400. Though he said he found dueling abhorrent, he participated in one in 1804. Probably one of the presidents, I reckon.
I should know this one, but I don't. I'm stumped on this one.
I'm going to go with... Who was the real righteous one? Was it Lincoln? I'm going to go Lincoln. Alexander Hamilton. Ever heard
Hamilton.
Heard of him?
Yes, and yes.
Was he president?
He was for a bit.
For a bit. Okay. Well, you're still in control, Pete Premenko. What would you like?
All right. American history for 600.
American history for 600 in 1912. It became the 48th and last contiguous state to join the Union.
What is Alaska?
Arizona, unfortunately.
Oh, no kidding.
Wow. Amazing. They got Alaska first. It's not even connected to the land.
It's contiguous. That was the word. You're right.
That's the trick of it. So technically, I gotcha. All right. What would you like, Pete?
American history for 800.
American history for 800. First to hold a nominating convention, this third party ironically chose Mason W.M. Wirt to run for president. First to hold a nominating convention. So the third party, what was the third party? Is that what they mean? Republicans, Democrats, and independents or something?
There's Republicans, Democrats, and everybody else. So what is independence?
All right, let's take a look. Anti-Masonic Party. Oh, they had a bit of an axe to grind.
I bet.
They didn't like the Masons. Who does?
Oh.
All right, continuing on. What would you like, Pete?
American history for 1000.
American history 1000. Upon leading 1894 March of Unemployed on Washington, Jacob Coxey was arrested for this trivial offense.
What is jaywalking?
Jaywalking. I'm going to go public urination. Let's take a look. Stepping on the grass.
Oh no, that's even worse.
I reckon they must have had it out for him, Jacob Coxley. All right, Pete, what would you like?
Netherlands for 600.
Netherlands for 600. Until the 1700s, this city was noted for its fine blue patterned china.
What is Amsterdam?
Amsterdam, all right. Well, I'm going to go with Rotterdam just to be different. It is date. I can't read that. Starts with a D.
Oh, wow.
Never heard of it.
Okay.
What would you like?
Nope. Netherlands for 800.
Netherlands for 800. Queen Juliana's daughter. She is the present Queen of Netherlands. When we say present, we're talking about 1984, I think. So it's impossible. Queen Juliana's daughter, who's probably an old Betty now, or dead. It is
no idea.
Beatrix. Oh no, she's still around. I'm sure of it.
Huh.
Pete, you got 4 questions on the board. What would you like?
Okay, Netherlands for 1000.
Netherlands for 1000. In 1975, independence of this South American country caused mass immigration to the Netherlands. South American country. Have a guess, Shola, and you can steal control. Pete, do you have any idea? Shola, do you have any idea? Just yes.
Peru?
It is Suriname.
All right.
South America. Didn't even know that was in South America. All right, 3 questions in China left. What would you like?
China for 1000.
China for 1000. The second 5-year plan, which forced farmers into giant communes, was also called this. Back at the old Mao Zedong days, where they tried to run full-scale communism, which sounds good on paper.
Yeah, unfair comes to mind. I don't know.
Yeah.
What? I have no idea.
I'm going to go collectivism, but I think that's Russia. Let's take a look. The Great Leap Forward or the Great Leap Backward, depending on your perspective. All right, 2 questions left. Pete.
China for 400.
China for 400. For some 2,000 years, in order to enter government services, applicants had to know his sayings. 2,000 years?
2,000 years.
China? Oh, it's got to be, you know when they go in those kung fu movies? Something he says, one must not be afraid of large man or whatever.
Yeah, I'm saying, what is Buddha?
Okay, but I'm going to say Confucius. Let's take a look.
Yes.
Confucius say, I am correct.
Right.
Sorry for doing an accent there. That was a bit rude. All right, last question, Pete. What would you like? 200
China for 200.
Red China encourages families to have only this many children.
What is 1?
What is 1? It's a good idea. We should do that here as well. Get the rent prices down. That was correct. Well done, Pete. 3,800. Shola has disappeared. Let's have a look. Where is she? Oh, she's gone. All right. Didn't work out too well. We tried. All right, Pete. Let's turn the music off. Have a round of applause for Pete Premenko. Pete, you did pretty well. Pretty much dominated that one. And tell us a little bit about what you're up to in terms of coaching.
So thanks. So thanks for having me on. I guess maybe it's the same way in Australia. In the US, we're really guilty of promoting new managers like into their first leadership management role without really preparing them. It's kind of like, I feel like it's pushing people out of an airplane with a parachute, but not teaching them how to pull the ripcord or let alone land or steer it properly or any of those things. And so that's really where I focus like my work. What I do is help leaders prepare their leaders for their first management leadership roles. At least in the US, we have a good half. I'll say the data says about half of them really struggle, never feel like they were fully prepared, and their teams suffer and those things. So that's where I spend my time.
It's a. Do you find that it's a certain size company that it typically is that has really no training processes, and they just pick somebody to be the new manager? Do you find that? And
No.
do you find particular? You find all sorts, and what types?
All sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some larger companies that have resources have development programs and will put resources to that. But there are still times when, hey, Pete, you're doing really good. We're going to tap on you and we'll put you into the program next year.
Yeah. And what, as in types of companies, who do you work with mostly?
So I work with a really neat variety. One of my clients is a really large shipping company, like the containers on big ships.
Which company? MSC?
No.
Oh, you can't say, maybe. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're doesn't start with an M, but might start with a C.
Okay.
Out of France, maybe.
Okay.
And then there's then I work with shippers and still shipping companies, but they're more tech based and do warehousing and order fulfillment, hospitality venues, hotels. There's just a neat mix and variety. Software companies. So the problem's wide. It's universal, I guess I would say.
And what is the first thing that you generally need to do? Is it that you need to create documentation for roles, or do you focus on skills training? What do you do first usually?
The first thing I do is spend time getting to know them and their team. Most people don't have to start from scratch. Most organizations have some good things going on. So I like to find out what they're doing and what's working for them. And let's kind of fill in the blanks for them. Oftentimes it is helping them define their role and job descriptions. Sometimes it's just basic, like, hey, let's change the mindset of a manager and leader. Let's understand what that person's role is. Instead of doing the work, they get work done through other people now, and nobody ever told them that part.
And tell us about Elevating Potential.
Oh, thanks for asking. That's a book I released earlier this year. It's called Elevating Potential. It's a guide for developing emerging leaders. And I wrote it specifically because of that problem I mentioned earlier, to help leaders, managers that maybe don't have the resources or never thought it was even their responsibility to prepare people for their first leadership role. It's a guide. So I'll be honest, there's nothing new in there. This is all the same things. I just bring my own experiences and the things that have worked for me with companies that I've worked with.
And what are some of the experiences that you cover that like case studies from real life that you've got in there?
Yeah, there's a great story about, for example, feedback. We talk about feedback and how important it is, and yet we sometimes only once or twice a year bother to tell somebody in maybe their annual review how well they're doing against my expectations of them. And there's a story in there about a guy I worked with. His name's Matthew, and he and I talked about this. He tells the same story, but from his perspective, and about how the performance appraisal went not well for him. But what was important about that was that there was nothing in there that he didn't already know, that we hadn't already been talking about. So by the time we got to this really pivotal moment for him, he was already in the mindset of, hey, I want to fix it. I want to change it. And so it was because of just the feedback habits and the way that we communicated before leading up to that moment that helped him out. So there are some of those real life moments and case studies in there. I talk about, maybe the not great leaders that I've worked with and the things that I've learned from them as well.
How do you train those people? Like, do you reckon it's how much of it is inbuilt versus trainable?
Do you mean the not great leaders or just
Yeah,
everybody?
like, the whole interpersonal skills, and some people are just like, what planet are you from? And the way that they communicate. How trainable are people versus do you just try to do the best you can with duds?
Yeah, I mean you do, and I think that everybody can learn and change. I think that's within our capability. I think a lot of people pull the excuse card and say, "Well, that's just how I am," and it is because they want to be. That's their choice. Just the flat, honest truth. If they want to change, I believe they can. I've seen it over and over.
Awesome. And if people want to have a chat to you, Pete, what's the first thing? Do they go over to your website and book a call? Is that how it works?
Yeah, the website's a great place to start, PetePremenko.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, Pete. And who are you mostly wanting to speak to, would you say? Is it CEOs?
CEOs, yes, but the senior directors, the directors of organizations, the people, they're the ones that have that first line leader coming up in their ranks. They're the ones that I most want to be able to influence and work with.
Wonderful. So if that's you and you want to get a little bit of leadership training, and do you mostly work in specific areas of the United States? Do they need to be local to you, California, or do you do training online? How does that part of it work?
I work coast to coast, so I have office in Virginia Beach and in California.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for coming on, Pete Premenko, and playing Jeopardy, and also sharing with us your wonderful knowledge. Thank you, Pete. Round of applause for
Thank
Pete.
you, Julian.
All right, I'm going to wrap things up. Thanks for listening and watching. See you next time.